Mm.
I got that too. So, all all right. Greetings, everyone, tonight. Uh, Happy New Year's. And this is now the start of episode 1 of season 2 of Horror Hangouts. With me, my guests are from the A&B Horror Movie Review YouTube channel. Aaron, how are you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing great. Hi, Josh. Thanks for having me. This is going to be fun.
As always. And then also we have Alistair. How are you doing, Alistair?
Doing great. Last night you were in a flowing nightgown. You prayed for like an angel, a celestial being to come, and here I arrive.
Fantastic.
But I imagined of course, there's been lots of crazy weather, and for any of our friends or people that are out in LA, I hope everyone's doing fine. I know at least a couple people in that area. Unfortunately, they're far enough away from the fires. And if it's not fire, it's snow. We had a big snowstorm here in my part of Texas Thursday, 11 inches of snow.
Oh, wow.
Aaron, you're getting it now in Massachusetts, right?
Yeah, but only like 6 inches. We can handle it. We're pros.
Oh, that's
No big
nothing.
deal. I've been driving around all day. It's like nothing.
So cool.
Well, I'm originally from Indiana, so I'm used to it. So this is
Yeah,
like,
okay.
okay, no big deal. I got 4-wheel drive in my car. Your part of Texas, Alistair, it probably didn't snow, I'm guessing, because you're way
Only
down
got down
south.
to only got down to 40, but still, this area is not really built for any type of cold. If it gets 50, people complain online like we can't send our kids out in this weather. It's not built.
Too funny.
I don't doubt that. Oh well. So anyhow, for tonight's show, we're just once again just kind of an open discussion where we each pick some topics we're going to discuss, some horror related topics. So we'll start off with you, Aaron. What do you have for us tonight?
Well, I just grabbed a couple new movies that I picked up recently, and the first one is Drag Me to Hell, the steelbook I picked up from Walmart. Orlando Arocena did the artwork on this. I haven't opened it yet, but it's a cool, like the back of it kind of wraps around to the rest. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him as an artist. He did the Halloween illustrated book that just came out in the past year.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
he's done a number of different designs as well, like the Carrie steelbook that came out. The new he does a lot of Scream Factory artwork on. So like the new Killer Clown steelbook that came out from Scream Factory, he did that cover art too. Anyway, Drag Me to Hell. I think this is a fantastic movie, a really nice addition. Deserves more attention, but I think it's starting to get the love now that it's been out for 12 years maybe. I should have done some research. Anyway, so I thought we could start with Drag Me to Hell and see what you guys think about that film and what your thoughts are.
Well, Drag Me to Hell. I remember I went and watched that for quite a few years because I have this built-in stigma because that is a PG-13 movie. So I'm like, oh, I didn't know if I wanted to see that, but when I finally did see it, I'm like, no, it's pretty good. It surprised me. That was as good as it was. It's
yeah. I mean, it's
could have
great.
been better
Sam
had they
Raimi.
maybe gone a little further.
I was just checking to see if
Oh
there's
yeah,
like a
so it's
unrated cut, and I don't see. But it doesn't feel like a PG-13 movie. You know what I mean? Some movies
no, it
feel like
doesn't at all. It's
bubblegum.
not like no, not at all. And I'm
Like
kind of after watching, I'm kind of like surprised that it got a PG-13. I guess so. I mean, because it's
I
not
mean,
an
there's
over.
some
It's more of an atmospheric movie more than anything.
absolutely, and there's some really disgusting moments in it, right? When the old woman throws up like worms and all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
unimaginable things right on Allison Lohman's face. I don't know there's like behind the scenes footage where you can see it like really hitting her. It's like those are some real worms hitting her face and going in her mouth. It's like, oh my god. And then the ending, right, with the coin and the button. And another example where Justin Long does not end well for him. Alistair, have you seen Drag Me to Hell?
I've seen a lot of Benny's stuff. That one has avoided my grasp, though. I am a fan of PG-13 horror because they get innovative with that, I tend to find.
Yes. I mean, what are some good PG-13 horrors? Like
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yes, that's a good one. The second Ouija movie is really good.
Oh, the second one's real good. Mike Flanagan, right?
I think so, yes. Did he do that? I think he did. Yeah.
Ouija, Origin of Evil, that one he did. Yeah, we got some of his regulars.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I love that one too.
Yeah.
The Boy.
The Boy.
That was a PG-13
with the little doll. That's good.
Wait, that wasn't R?
What's that?
I thought that was R. I could be wrong.
No, it was PG-13. What was the name of the doll you said?
Brahms,
I think.
Yeah. I could be wrong. I thought that was rated R.
I don't see it. I know I own a copy.
No, I remember checking. I mean, you can double check there, but I'm pretty sure it was rated PG-13 because it's not an overly. Once again, that's not gruesome or anything like that. So that's a good PG-13 horror.
The Gate from the 80s. That's a great one.
Dude, that had a dead dog like right at the get-go.
Oh yes. Yeah, I love that.
I guess it.
Monster Squad, one of my favorites. That's PG-13.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you go back to probably my second favorite horror movie of all time, Jaws, that got a PG rating, which is
that was before they had
PG-13 back there,
right?
Yeah. Which is weird because if you look at Jaws, which came out in '75, gets a PG. 3 years later, Halloween comes out, which got an R. Well, which movie's more gruesome between those two? Definitely Jaws, I would say.
Well, and also with Jaws, it's what you don't see. I mean, there's a lot in that film that you don't see that's pretty horrific.
And
what happens under the water, right?
And also Halloween, they flashed a little nip, okay?
Well,
yes.
In the beginning part of Jaws, the girl, I mean, granted, you don't really see everything, but you see the silhouette of the girl running into the beach naked, though.
That's true.
But you're right, yeah.
I saw that with my niece, and she asked, "Is there nudity?" It's like, first, I would never show you something with nudity. Third of all, second of all, mom would kill me. Nah, this PG.
Cool. Well, that was one thing I wanted to mention. I've also got a couple new found footage films. Maybe not new, but Beazle, I think you say it. I just watched this, and I actually loved it. If you haven't seen this one, I highly recommend it.
I have that one on my watch list because someone in Slasher wanted me to check it out.
Yeah, it's good. So. It's good. So it's kind of like structurally, it's kind of like an anthology movie. But what's really interesting is that it's all set in the same house. So the first story is like in the 60s. Then the second story is in the 70s. Then the third story is in the 80s. But they're all sort of different, like vignettes, like in a horror anthology. And then all the way up to the present day. I think there are 4 or 5 different stories in there. And it's really good. Highly recommend it. I think it's new, right? Last year or so.
Yeah, I think it lists at 2024.
That reminds me of The House That Dripped Blood, an anthology in the same house with Christopher Lee.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. And then I've just watched this one. It's not new. I got the Second Sight edition. I don't know if I'm going to say it right, but Gonjiam Haunted Asylum.
Oh, Haunted Asylum. That one, it is on every streaming service. I still need to track that down.
It's really good. Second Sight did a really nice job with this edition. I just watched it for the first time in the last 2 weeks, and I thought it was fantastic. It's subtitled, and I mean, you've got to get past that, but there's some really scary moments.
Oh, no, I love a good subtitled one.
Yes. I don't know if I have
the subtitles aren't too bad.
Yeah, I think that's all I've got for found
footage. I've gotten used to watching movies in subtitles.
Speaking of Giallo, is Enigma by Fulci? Would you say this would
Ooh.
classify as one?
I'm sure
I've never
someone
seen
would
it.
say no.
Someone would say, no. I've never seen
That's
it.
one I haven't seen. I better write that one down. Another
I
one
just
there.
got it on Amazon. It had a nice price, so I thought, why not?
Okay.
Fulci could not make an OnlyFans foot video without it being called a giallo.
You could do anything. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking.
You can do
I've got a
whatever he
couple more
wants
here.
to.
Mutant from 1984.
Mm-hmm.
Acidic Zombies. I had to get a Spanish import, but I just got this recently. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original 4K.
Oh wow, good
That's
one.
pretty cool, I thought. I don't know. I've got a few more. Do you want me to keep showing? I've got others,
Yes.
Criterion collection.
Oh, the others.
This I think is PG-13, isn't it?
I was just getting ready to say, I
That
think the others is a PG-13 horror as well.
It doesn't say here, but yeah, I think it
Oh
is.
no.
It's pretty good.
On Thread, someone was talking about it, and I wrote as a reply, like the third act was just a descent into madness. I love that one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a good one. A couple more. Day of the Beast, comedy. I think it's Spanish. It's a good film.
Okay.
The Last Video Store. I don't know if you've heard of this. This was pretty good. I got
No.
this copy
I've
from
heard of it.
Arrow. It's I don't know what year it is, but I think it's
deep
fairly
dive
new.
into this.
It's pretty good, low budget, but kind of fun, indie film. And then last classic, Food of the Gods.
Oh,
H.G. Wells.
actually never heard of that one.
Gosh, who's in this? This is from the 70s. B movie at its best. It doesn't say, but the animals come back and kill everybody. So right up there with what? Empire of the Ants, Squirm, Bees, which is a fun one. And there's one more. Oh, Frogs. Some 70s was like the late 70s. There were so many like Attack of the Animals films. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, because you had Frogs. There was Ben, the original Willard. There was like Island of the Giant Ants or something like that. I think there's another one about praying mantis, big gigantic praying mantises that eating people. I can't remember what the name of it was. Might have just been mantis, but yeah, they had a lot of those crazy over the top creature features back in the 70s.
And what was the spider one with oh gosh, I just watched it too. Not Empire of the Ants, Kingdom of the Spiders with William Shatner.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, with William.
The tarantulas, right? The tarantulas attack. Oh, it's funny. That one was actually a lot of fun. Anyway, that's what I have for things to talk about. I don't know what else you want to.
Well, those are good choices, and certainly some choices we should add to our watch list if we haven't seen them. Especially, I'll definitely check out Enigma for sure because that's one I haven't seen yet. And
yeah, same here. I'll let you know if it's good.
All right, I'm sure it is.
Cool.
So I did watch a few weeks ago. Speaking of Fulci, what was it? Zombie. I think came out in '79. And to be honest, I wasn't, and maybe because I'm not the biggest zombie movie. I mean, I like zombie movies by and large, but this one, I don't know why it just didn't work for me. It was okay. Don't get me wrong. It just wasn't my favorite of his when you compare it to some of his other movies, like his Gates of Hell trilogy, for example.
That's the one with the infamous zombie versus shark fight, right?
Yes. And when that's, of course, that happened in the beginning, and I'm like, okay, I'm at least going to watch the rest of this because, all right, he did have a zombie fighting a shark. So that in itself, I just wanted the shark to emerge at the end of the movie as a zombie shark, and that didn't happen. But I'm like, what the?
Don't they go to like Haiti?
Come up with stuff like that.
Yeah. Most of the movies like in Haiti, right? And then at the end, kind of back to New York City. But they don't really show anything. Yeah.
For the shark fight scene, they used the latest in CGI technology, which essentially consisted of drugging the shark and having a guy hold his breath. as one should.
Yeah,
Or shark.
that sounds like something Fulci would. I mean, Fulci's one of those guys. You know what this movie needs? We need a zombie fighting a shark underwater. You know, it probably wasn't
Mhm.
even in the original script. He probably just decided to throw it in. I imagine.
With the topless diver, of course.
Of
Right.
course, yes,
Exactly,
yes.
because that's normal.
It's
Well, I mean,
unnecessary, but so awesome.
it's probably well. I always say, well, they are European, so I guess that makes sense that they would do
It's
that.
elevated. It's elevated.
Exactly.
All right.
It's like the bees comes to mind since we were talking about insects attack.
Mhm.
The funniest thing in that is that they're like, we have to listen to the bees because they discover the bees are saying things, right? And I got such a kick out of the two lead characters listening to countless hours of recordings of bees buzzing. And I'm like, oh my God, they're just sitting there. And then they're like, maybe we should start over as if they missed something. Too funny. And it ends with
What
them
year
like in
did the bees
Congress.
come out?
I think it was 77. At the end, they're at Congress.
Oh.
And they're like, you have to listen to the bees. And that's kind of the end of the movie.
They need to do a remake with Nicolas Cage.
So, well, here's the thing. John Saxon's the lead, and he's a
The
horror
legend.
Great actor. Yeah.
Another legend.
So if you haven't seen
yeah.
the bees, it's fun. Just don't take it too seriously. And imagine sitting there listening
I
to
won't.
bees
How could
buzzing.
I?
There was a killer bee
Too
movie
funny.
in the 90s. It had one of the smartest characters in a horror movie I've ever seen. Because what this fucking kid did, there were bees, he got in a bathtub with a straw.
Mm,
Couldn't get him underwater.
no.
Oh, that's
What was it
smart.
called? Do you
I
remember?
have no idea, man. This was early 90s, man.
Just
This
don't
was...
dump a bunch of honey in the water, though.
Actually, hold on a second. I've got bees right here. I'll show you.
Okay, let's see this.
It's I think it's a vinegar syndrome. Yeah, it is a vinegar syndrome edition.
Oh, Berber Ann is in the chat.
And there you can see
Yeah.
John Saxon right there on the cover, and the bees
That's
are
the
attached.
man.
Of course, that's totally a movie he would
The flip
do.
cover. Oh, look at that! Oh man, it's too funny.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love.
If you're
earlier,
looking
I
for
just
some
mentioned-
good stupid fun, check out the bees.
I love that earlier. I just mentioned a movie, and you immediately look back at the shelf, like, yeah, I got it somewhere.
Well,
my movies are
got...
alphabetized, so I've got like A through E, A through F behind me. So if it's like within reach, I'll just grab it.
Glorious.
Yeah.
I bet you don't have any movies that start with
Simple
an
things.
X.
I do XXXY.
He got you.
I bet you that's
We
not
got
within arm's length.
It's
though.
not a horror, though. It's not a horror.
Okay.
Extra, the Alien movie. XTRO.
Oh,
No, that's
X
one.
Files, the movie, the show.
Kind of, sort of.
That's true. X-Files.
Horror adjacent, I guess.
My X's are
Right.
upstairs. The movies that begin with X are upstairs.
Well, there's the movie. There is the
To
movie
clarify.
X too. I almost forgot about the movie X.
Yes.
I'm wondering if they are, since now Maxine's come out, if they're going to. I haven't gotten any of those on digital or on physical media yet. I wonder if they're going to release that as a box set at some point. You know, X, Pearl, and Maxine. That's what I've been kind of holding off to see if they're going to do some special box set with those three movies. And I haven't heard if they're going to do that or not, rather than getting them all three separately.
A 3 steelbook box set would be cool. I don't know if you guys have seen the Umbrella put out a Terrifier box set. Looks amazing. All the 3 movies at the cover has like Art the Clown.
Oh, right.
It looks awesome.
I would kind of want to wait till because they're going to do a
the fourth one. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I couldn't resist though. I pre-ordered it.
It's like I got like the Scarlet Gospels Hellraiser box set, which is the first 3 movies.
Yes.
And then now, recently, in the last 6 months, they, of course, come out with, I think it's called the Quartet of Torture or something like that, that now has the first 4 movies on there. I'm like, dang it, why don't you release that before I went and got Now I'm like
Yes.
debating
It's
whether
like,
I should get that because it's supposed to have the work print of Bloodline, which has a kind of an alternate version a little bit, but
Oh.
it's like 6-minute abs and there's something about Mary.
probably.
I
Yeah.
I
4-minute
heard
abs. Go ahead.
I heard with the new the Strangers movies that are coming out, the home invasion one, that
Yes.
the
Mhm.
director, like it's all technically one story, like and the director eventually wants to release a supercut of all three movies spliced together.
And I think they filmed them all. They
Film them
filmed
all
all
together?
3 films already, and it's the same
Okay.
director as Nightmare on Elm Street 4, I believe.
Four,
3 or
yeah,
4.
Remy Harlan.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Is that part
Yeah,
4
that's
that
him.
he did?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. The first one was
Didn't
just
Rennie
okay. It got a
Harlan?
lot of
He's
hate.
like Rennie Harlan. He also directed, wasn't it Die Hard 2? I think
Deep Blue
he
Sea.
directed. Yeah.
It's a good one. Speaking of sharks.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
happened.
Hmm.
But we're talking about PG-13 horror, and that's kind of a good segue because I'm going to talk about, and this happened quite a bit in the late 70s and into the 80s, where we had really up until about the 90s, where you would get a lot of made for television horror. These were horror movies or miniseries that were being made specifically for one of the major networks on television. And thought I'd go through a couple that aren't, shall we say, Stephen King adaptations, because we already know those. Salem Slot, It.
The Stand.
Sometimes they
Yeah.
come back. They did a Shining miniseries, The Stand. So I picked a couple that a lot of people probably
Oh, I can't
some
wait.
have heard about, maybe some have not heard about or have forgotten. So the first one I wanted to talk about was the TV movie The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which came out, debuted on Halloween night, 1980, and starred Jeff Goldblum as Ichabod Crane. Also
Oh.
featured Meg Foster as the Katrina character.
Yes.
I remember
That's a good
watching
one.
this night after getting back from trick or treating, watching the movie, and the only place I can find it right now in streaming is on YouTube. You can get it for free on YouTube. If you just type in the search, it'll show up there. And you know what? It holds up pretty well for something from 1980. What's also a fun little, they have like former, also in the movie is like Hall of Fame linebacker from the Chicago Bears, Dick Butkus, is in the movie. Plays
Oh, I didn't know
played
that.
the Brom Bones in that. And like, because after he got out of football, he did a little bit of acting afterwards. So that might have been his first role for all I know. But it's like, watching it, it's a really good, we talk about gateway horror. If you have like, say, 11, 12, 13-year-old and you want to get them into horror, that's a good movie, I think, to get them started off, because it's obviously, a lot of us started off with the Universal movies, but this was another movie too that got me more and more into horror, and I've always loved that tale, and I'd seen the Disney version of that, and yeah, it's pretty good. So have you guys seen that one yet?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I haven't. I just saved it on my YouTube playlist right now, though. I definitely
Okay.
want to get
Now, how long is it? It's good. I remember watching it as a kid. Is it a
Probably
full?
your
an hour
standard,
38.
yeah, about
Oh,
an
it
hour
is.
and a
It's a
half.
full length film, and it's not a
Yeah.
Disney. Disney didn't do it.
No, Disney did an animated version that lasted, was like a little 15,
No,
20
yeah, I
minute
know that
short.
one.
But
Yeah, I remember the
this
one
one,
with Jeff Goldblum. Watching it in
this
the
is
80s.
one I'm talking
Sorry,
about.
I cut you off.
No, that's all right. So I don't think that would have been Disney because it was debuted on NBC. So
Oh, okay. I'm
yeah.
mistaken.
So I was like, did my
I'd
fact
love to
checking
get a
on that
copy of
one.
that.
I remember.
Do you know if there's a physical release of it? Sorry, Alistair.
Oh no!
I have
Go
not.
on, go.
I have not looked yet. My guess is if there is, it's gonna be hard to find. Maybe you could probably find it. I bet you wouldn't find it on Amazon. If it's anywhere, it might be somewhere on eBay. would
Here, let me
be.
check.
I don't know. Check to see if we've got that.
Yeah,
I
I'll
guess
check.
that
Yeah,
should-
yeah. Alistair, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
Yeah.
Oh, I was saying another wonderful one that was direct to TV. It was from ABC. It was the Midnight Hour. Have you heard? Have
Okay,
you
I
seen
don't
that
think
one?
I've seen that one.
That one
Midnight
had had
Hour.
LeVar Burton. A bunch of kids read a
Okay.
witch's book in a graveyard. Pretty much
Mhm.
everything you expect to happen happens, but it's really it's funny. It's
I
good.
see.
There's like a lot of cameos you didn't expect. I really recommend it if you guys have time. And
Okay.
What was it called? I missed that.
midnight
I'm sorry.
midnight hour. It is on YouTube to watch for free. But
That's good.
I remember they could not. They were told like you can't show blood. So during a house party in the basement, a character is fighting a vampire, and they keep bumping into the wine bottles and the wine barrels. And so by the time the vampire is able to bite in, there's red wine gushing from the walls. Like it's a beautiful type of loophole.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, we can't use
Yeah.
blood. Okay, we'll use red wine
That's
instead,
cool.
and it'll still have
Right.
the same look
Yeah,
that
Follow
you
the
would have
rules.
gotten.
chocolate
We follow the
syrup.
rules.
Yeah, yeah.
But
That's so
yeah,
cool.
Legend of Sleepy Hollow. That's a very early Jeff Goldblum. Well, would have been after he was in Invasion of Body Snatchers. So, but
Another
still,
wonderful one.
he wasn't a big
Mhm.
main star like he became later on in the 80s. So that's a good one. And the other
Yeah.
one I wanted to mention, which came out about almost a year to the date after that one, and this one's fairly, I think, a much more well-known version, and that's Dark Knight of the Scarecrow,
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's a good
which
one.
came out in 1981, October 24th, which is interesting because that's my wife's birthday. But and that came on CBS.
Got it right
And
here.
you have
You
it,
are the
of course,
man.
on
You
digital.
are the
And
man.
let's not talk about the sequel, but I do own a copy.
I've never seen the sequel, and I heard it's awful.
I think it was also made for TV movie. I've heard it's horrible, but I had to get it. I haven't even
Just
opened it. In
because.
my defense, it's not open.
Not even open.
Yeah,
But
that's a great
that
movie.
was what,
It's scary.
and I was like
Scary.
probably
Mhm.
7. It was for, I mean, it didn't scare me, but did disturb me a little bit. And it wasn't so much about for those who haven't seen it, it's about a mentally handicapped man who is wrongfully, where some of the local vigilantes, they form a lynch mob because they think he hurt a little girl, which actually he saved the girl from this dog. He dresses up as a scarecrow to hide from him, and so he's on the post. Dogs sniff him out, and they just shoot them point blank in cold blood, and they get away with it because they pled self-defense that he had a pitchfork and was coming after him. And then, of course, one by one, he takes them out, basically. Stars Charles Durning, who plays an asshole in every movie I think he's ever been in. So, because he's like the leader of that lynch mob. But what disturbed me was when he got shot to death. I mean, him going out getting revenge, that was the good part. But yeah, that whole scene for a made-for-television movie, I mean, they don't show a lot of blood, but I don't think you even need to. That's a very disturbing and rough scene to watch. Even 30, 40 years now later. So I watched it. I had forgotten about the movie and then decided, oh, wait, there was that one movie I watched when I was a kid. Let me see if I can find it. And me and my son, who was probably 11 or 12 at the time, watched it, and he liked it. So
Yeah, it's good. There's some scary moments like at night with it when the revenge kills start up. With the silo, I had anxiety dreams about it. The guy in
where the guy gets stuck and it gets filled up with the corn stuff
my
or
God,
whatever it
that
is.
bothered me as a kid. And it holds up well. I rewatched it a couple years ago. It's still really good.
It's a movie I'm surprised that someone hasn't tried to remake yet.
It'd be nice, but there's no real need, you know.
No, there isn't, other than the fact that if you, it's kind of almost like the effect. Well, what if you do? It was mini series made for television. Let's make a feature film and see how that does, because we can do more with it from a gore standpoint, I suppose. But
Yep.
I don't know if it needs it either, and they would probably screw it up. I don't know, unless it's like a studio like A24. I could see them doing
Mhm.
a version that would be, if they have the right director doing it, could work out pretty well. Because
Yeah.
basically the themes of it is basically about bigotry, essentially. So you could certainly translate that today, almost even still today. I
A24.
think
Whenever I hear that studio name, it's just like my pinky goes up, man. It's too fancy. It's too fancy.
Yeah, like the movie Men that they did. What a strange film.
I did not see that. I didn't think, like, why do I have a sense this is going to be one of those man-hating movies? I don't know. I just decided to give it a skip. Or Bodies,
Yeah,
Bodies,
I would
Bodies.
skip it. I'm still processing it. Yeah, I did see Bodies too.
I
That was
didn't. I
fun.
have I get an allergic reaction to what's his face, Pete
Pete
Davidson.
Davidson.
If I even see him, I break out in hives. So I can't.
Yeah, but when you find out what happens to him in this movie, if you're not a fan, I think you'll enjoy it.
Well, tell me at what time signature that happens, so I can just fast forward to the hour and 10-minute mark and just to watch that.
It's toward the end. It's like the big reveal in the end when you find out. They're a bunch of morons in the film. I wasn't a huge fan, but
that one had
okay.
Lee Pace, man. He is, he's low key like a heavy hitter when it comes to acting.
I think I own it. I do. Oh my god, you guys are gonna laugh. Here it is.
Well, see, geez, just seeing that cover with
and it's got the slip cover.
Just maybe. Of course, you don't have the steelbook version of that yet, or is there?
No,
one?
no, I don't know if I would get the steelbook version of it. It's as if we
that cover
planted
alone
it.
makes me
It's
wanna
pretty
run
good.
the hills.
Give me a C movie. I could probably pull that one up too.
Ooh, I have one for you. PG-13. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. Mothman Prophecies with Richard Gere.
Love that one. Yeah,
that was real good. It's PG-13.
I've heard of it, but just never saw it.
It's creeped me out more than rated R movies, like just what they're able to do.
Oh wow!
Yes, yeah. That whole opening scene, which I think is the actress from Will and Grace. What's
Deborah
Messing.
Messing.
And the thing the Mothman kind of flies through the car when they're driving. Chills, man. That was so cool. That was good.
Or the scene, he's driving and he realizes he doesn't know where he is. He goes to knock on a door and it's Will Patton, and then Will Patton takes out a gun, drags him in the house. Like, what the hell?
Oh my gosh, I need to rewatch. It's been a while.
Me too.
That's good.
Oh, wow.
Is The Sixth Sense PG-13? I think that is too. That's a good one.
Let me double check. I think so.
Excuse me. I think it is. I mean, nothing really happens in that one, except for all the dead people.
Which did you like
Josh,
better?
what else do you have?
Well, those were really the two
I
I wanted to focus on because we already know the Stephen King title, so I just wanted to talk about those two movies because they don't. I think Dark Knight of the Scarecrow is getting a resurgence. I've noticed in recent years in social media, more and more people are talking about it again. But I don't think a lot of people know about the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. That there was before the Tim Burton version and after the Disney version, there was animated version anyway. There was a live action movie that was, of course, went straight to TV. And given the fact that Jeff Goldblum is in it, and who doesn't like Jeff Goldblum? Why not? It's just, I think what 80s, it is
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh no,
but just for whatever reason, I find it weird that a movie like that doesn't have a wider. I don't know if it's a rights issue. Doesn't have a wider presence on streaming platforms. That the only place you can find it is on YouTube. So I don't know why you would think it would at least show up on Tubi. At the very least, they show everything else there. So
sometimes it is a music issue because this was back in the day before streaming or DVDs were a thing, you know?
Right.
Mm-hmm. maybe.
Could be.
A couple made-for-TV movies that come to mind. There was one with Sally Field in the early 70s. I can't think of the title of it. It's something in the night, but that's one to check out, and it's streaming on, I believe it's on YouTube. I think that's where I watched it. I'll look into it and get back to you. I don't remember the title. And then there's another one in the 90s that's about the Conjuring couple, the Warrens, that they get called into a haunted house. And I think
Okay.
Sally Kirkland is in it. Does that sound right? I can't remember the name of
But I
that,
think
but I
so many movies about that couple
Uh-huh.
that I wouldn't be surprised.
it's pretty good though,
there's-
made for TV. And when you mentioned made for TV movies, I had to pull this out. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark from I believe 1972.
Mhm.
Terrifying. These little monsters, so scary. I don't know if
Oh,
you've seen this. 1973. And her name is Sally, and they keep saying her name over, like Sally, and they drag her through the house. Terrifying. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. They remade it, but
Was
the remake isn't as good as the original.
was
Darby's
was
in
the
it.
was the
Kim
town that
Darby.
dreaded? I was wondering, was the original town
I
that
was
dreaded
thinking
sundown?
that. Yeah.
Was that made for TV? Because it's sure. I mean,
I
I
don't-
watched it recently because I hadn't seen it in decades, and
I
it
don't
does play
think
out
so.
like it feels like a made-for-television movie. Now I don't know if
Parts
it's
of it
because
do, right? Parts of it do.
Just-
I agree with you there.
this kind of felt like it was, but I don't, because it's not an overly gruesome movie. There really isn't any language or any nudity or anything in that, so kind of and
What a,
maybe because it was set in the post World War II era, like late 40s, early 50s, that it just kind of felt like a made
it
for
does.
television movie. So I don't know.
It's funny you mention that because
Um,
I thought about it when you were talking about TV movies. But then you have that scene with the trombone where the knife is on the end of the trombone and he's like stabbing
That's
the
true
girl
too.
repeatedly. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
TV fodder.
probably not when that movie
Let me look it up.
came out.
I got my iPad here.
Take a look at that.
What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say I forgot about the trombone scene, so you're probably right. But just like some of the like weird things like that car chase scene, which was so comedic and out of tone for that movie, it's like, what am I watching? Dukes of the Hazzard all of a sudden, or what?
It was a drive-in movie. It wasn't made for TV, but it did
Okay,
premiere
so
on
it was.
TV
All right.
later on. It says they probably edited it down. But quickly before we move on, the 70s, 80s, the Sunday night made-for-TV movies was a thing. I remember, getting
Oh yeah.
in my pajamas in the 80s. We make popcorn and watch whatever
Well, yeah, and each network would
TV
have their
movie
own
was
night.
on.
It seemed like
Mhm.
ABC would normally do theirs on Sunday nights, I think. They also did like the World
Yes.
of Disney, where they would feature a Disney movie
The-
and then they would do
Yes.
a feature movie or something like that. NBC, I think,
Josh,
would
do you
normally
remember
do like.
Mr. Boogedy, the Boogedy Man, the Disney Sunday night movie?
Mm-hmm.
It was stupid
Yeah.
fun, but I remember watching
And-
that.
There, yeah.
I need to track that down.
But
I think
like
it is on Disney
CBS would
Plus.
have a night where they would do that.
Yeah. It's good.
Oh, there
Now that's
was
like a thing of.
one. Oh, there was one, and it's a Stephen King one too. Night Flyer.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
that was,
Another
the
good Stephen King
Langoliers.
one
Wasn't the Langoliers made into a TV
I think
movie
so.
with
Yeah,
Bob
yeah.
Key
I
from
think
Perfect
so.
Strangers? Yeah, that
I
was
know there
pretty good.
was
The Munchers, right?
Sometimes They
Time
Come
Munchers.
Back was one too.
And Tommy Knockers, because Tracy Lords was in Tommy Knockers, and I read the
Mhm.
book because of the miniseries.
Yeah.
The things we remember
And then
just by talking.
And then there was, of course, The Stand, which, God, that miniseries seemed like it lasted all month.
That was
It
long.
was like 8 or 9 parts to it or something like that. I mean, they didn't leave much out of that book.
I love
No,
that they had Joe
great
Bob
cast,
Briggs in that one.
Yeah,
Yes.
they did have a great cast.
Molly Ringwald.
So weird, though, seeing Dauber
Laura
from
San
Coach in that
Giacomo.
movie.
Max Headroom was Trash Can Man, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever that. I know he has a real name, but he's still Max
Um,
Headroom to me.
Matt
He's a
Frewer.
great actor.
Matt Frewer, I think is his name.
Oh yeah, that's right. I joke.
Well, anyhow, I know what Alistair wants to talk about. I know this past Christmas Day, the day of our Savior's birth, a certain movie came out on that day. What was that again, Alistair? You remember that movie?
Nosferatu.
I was gonna say, is it the Robbie Williams movie? Kidding.
With the monkey, man? That's a weird one.
The monkey. Yeah, no, I joke. Nosferatu.
Oh, man.
Well, what were your thoughts on it? Because I know Robert Eggers is like one of your favorite directors.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, well, I hate The Witch, but everything else I freaking love, man.
Oh, you didn't like The Witch. Okay.
No, The Lighthouse, I adore with every fiber of my being. And I got to tell you, this movie was freaking incredible. I have been annoying the shit out of my wife by doing my voice like this.
That's awesome. I still haven't seen The Lighthouse. So what did you do to prepare going into Nosferatu? Did you watch like the 1922 and the 1979 movie?
A month before, I know on Tubi they have a certain older silent films. They have versions with a synthwave soundtrack. So for Nosferatu, that's how I prep for it.
The original, this one, right? I've got the original.
That's it.
1922. This one, is that the one you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one. That with the synthwave soundtrack, cool. Incredible, man.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, they also have done that same company did Metropolis as well, and Night of the Living Dead. You know, all with a synthwave soundtrack. I recommend them, man. But
oh, cool. And is that streaming? How do you experience that?
It's on Tubi. They're all free, baby.
On Tubi. Okay, cool. Except for all the ads, but yes.
Some other prep that I did before I saw Nosferatu on Christmas. I pre-gamed at the bar next door to the theater. I don't know if that counts, but
I think so.
I think it does. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, but God, everything about this movie was beautiful, man. Cinematography, the acting, and having freaking Willem Dafoe just go, you know, balls out crazy at the end. Mm-hmm. Man, I really enjoyed it. What were your thoughts,
true
Josh?
William Dafoe fashion too.
My
thoughts on it? Well, no, I thought it gave me everything I would have wanted out of a gothic vampire Dracula style movie. With Eggers, I have not seen The Lighthouse either. It's once again on my list.
Okay.
The Witch I liked, but I thought it dragged a little too long. This movie doesn't do that. I know some people say that there are parts of it that's kind of slow and boring. I never felt that. I was engaged enough with the story, which we all know pretty much what the story is. This has only been retold between the Nosferatu movies and the Dracula movies. It's been retold 100, at least 100 times probably. Skarsgård, I mean, he's done it again. All right, we can now. I haven't seen the Crow remake, not going to, but we can forgive him for that because he did such a great Pennywise, and now he's done a great Count Orlok in this. For him prepping the way he does his voice, there's no way, if you didn't know, there's no way you would have guessed that was Skarsgård playing him at all.
I didn't know. Really? He was him? I didn't know. Okay, cool.
Now you know. Yeah, it was Bill Skarsgård. So,
excuse me.
Cool. What's Johnny Depp's daughter? Lily. My son is Lily Depp Taylor, I think. Okay, I was close. She does a great job in it. Her portrayal of it and her look of her character reminded me very much Ellen, which is kind of like the Mina character.
Mm-hmm.
His girlfriend? That's Johnny Depp's daughter?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
She was also in a movie Yoga Hosers. Now, in that one, she was fun, but this, I'm like, oh my God. She actually trains with a coordinator to do that whole like weird shaky type thing.
Oh gosh, I had no idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say her
Nepotism at its
performance. I mean, the
finest,
way
brother.
she looked, it reminded me a lot of Nosferatu's 1979.
Hmm.
She looked a little bit like Isabella Johnny from 79's
Yeah.
Nosferatu. Kind of reminded me of that character a little bit. Way it looked, and
Hmm.
of course Willem, he nailed it as always. Probably the only like real if I had a small critique of the movie, you
Hmm.
know, the story hints how this girl has been haunted by Count Orlok her entire life and all that through nightmares and
Mhm.
dreams or whatever, but they never really
Hmm.
establish how that happened or why it happened.
I
But outside of that, I don't really have, and that's really probably a minor thing, but I like the
I
fact with this movie. Go ahead.
I know. I was saying I didn't
I'm
realize
glad
until
they didn't go
later.
with.
Go on,
Mhm.
go on, go on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh,
I'll make my point later.
no, no. On social media, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, she was
All
psychic."
right.
I'm like, I didn't know that.
Mm. Well, what is it? She like reached out to
I
anyone.
have to
Like
rewatch it. I
Uh-huh.
don't think she was psychic.
there were definitely some psychic supernatural
Mhm.
things
Of
happening
course,
there.
Nicholas. We forgot to mention Nicholas Holt in that.
Oh man, he is a
Um,
glorious golden retriever
Okay.
husband.
yes.
Yes, he
Okay.
is.
So I loved the
But I'll say
film. I
this.
did. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Mhm.
No, finish your thought. That's
No,
fine.
fish.
Okay,
Go ahead, Aaron.
okay, Josh, you go then, Aaron. Okay, wait,
Yes,
Josh.
there you
Okay.
go.
I was just gonna say, and maybe it's not a fair comparison. Okay. Um, I I for sure like this a lot better than say maybe it's not a fair comparison to Bram Stoker's Dracula from '92
Hmm.
because I liked that movie, but my criticism was making Dracula into this sympathetic character and
Hmm.
trying to make a little bit of a love story. That's not what we got here. There's really nothing sympathetic about Orlok, yet his obsession with this character is more about
Hmm.
I guess possession and lust than it is love. So I'm glad they didn't go that opposite end. So that's where I wanted to finish on. Go
Yeah, I
for it,
could see
Aaron.
that. I haven't rewatched the Bram Stoker's Dracula from the '90s in a while. I wonder. I've thought about going back to it, but I haven't lately. So I have to admit, I didn't even see the trailer for Nosferatu. I just went in blind.
Oh.
Um, I had also
Okay.
just gotten over the flu. I got hit really bad with the flu around New Year's Eve,
Hmm.
so I think I might have still been a little delirious. So it's quite an experience in the movie theater. Um, I thought it was great. I need to rewatch it. Clearly, I didn't do any homework on it. Um, but now that you're telling me all these things that I didn't realize, I'm even more fascinated with the film. Um, yeah, I'm a fan. I'm going to rewatch the original. I ordered a copy of the '70s one. I haven't seen that one in a really long time. So I think I'm going to watch those and then I'll go back to the new one. But yeah, I thought it was great. Atmospheric, moody, gothic, um,
Hmm.
everything I expected. Now, is it in black and white? Because
It
it
gives
kind of
us another
feels
good
black and white.
wintertime horror movie.
Yes, yes, a good wintertime horror movie,
It
especially
feels,
in
but it
January, because
isn't.
usually
But
the
I think
movies in
it's
January are horrible. Usually,
For the
black
lighting,
and white.
they only used candlelight for any type of lighting. That must have been a bitch to set up. But
Yeah. Well, I guess I would explain like the
well, they
flickering and
pulled it off.
fire hazard.
And that's a big thing. I mean, the set pieces, the set design, and everything. Like I said, the cinematography, um, the
Hmm.
score. I don't know who did the score, but the score was really done well. I think, like I said, I don't really. I've heard like some criticism where they didn't like the performances as well. Not so much of Skarsgård,
Mhm.
but some of the other actors. Which I'm like, what are you watching here? But you know, to each their own. I could
They
see
should
where some
watch
people
this
might
one.
find
There's
it
a
a
lot
little
of
slow, a little boring.
overacting in that one. Go ahead,
Well, yeah,
Josh.
I
I
was going to say the
couldn't
79
resist.
version is, I mean, the 79 version does suffer some pacing issues, I guess, but this one,
Mm,
I didn't really have any problems with it. It's whatever it is, 2 hour 15 minutes, I think, 2 hours 20 minutes, and I never didn't feel like it. I thought it was paced pretty well.
Yeah, no, I
So
liked
some
it too.
good shots there. My second favorite of 2024, second only to The Substance. So, in a very close second at that.
Oh, my is my number 2 as well, but my top one was I Saw the TV Glow.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Is that good?
I haven't
Listen,
seen
you're either gonna
my TV hasn't glowed in 30 years.
listen, you're either gonna love it or you're gonna
Joke.
hate it. I've never seen anyone just say it's okay.
Oh, okay. That's what
Okay.
I've heard. Hated it or loved it. That's what I've heard. I don't know. Long Legs was great too. The Substance and A Violent Nature.
Yes,
Late Night with the Devil was good, I thought.
that was fun. A Violent Nature, it started off like really it had a nice pace, but I don't know how you get to that third act and then it feels like it slows down. Like that should be when things speed up after that.
Speed it up, yes. It was a bit tedious at times.
I
But kudos to them for trying something new. I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah, they
cool
tried
take
something
on
new.
the
It did
summer
that
camp
movie.
slasher.
The last 15 minutes of that movie ruins it for me,
Yeah,
just because I don't think there should have been a final girl in that movie.
really.
We don't really get to know that character at all. From what we know, she's not very likable. She's useless. She stands around for 10 minutes while her boyfriend gets bludgeoned to death and does nothing. And then we have this 10, 15-minute scene with her getting in this car with this person, having a conversation that goes nowhere. And I kept on thinking he's going to jump out and kill both these, or the lady that picked her up was like a accomplice. I was almost expecting a ending similar to House of a Thousand Corpses, where Captain Spaulding picks up the girl and then Otis comes out of the backseat. I was wanting that and didn't get it, and so that kind of like, I don't want to say ruined it, but I didn't like how they finished that movie off. Didn't land for me, I guess.
Well, it's Lauren Marie Taylor from Friday the 13th Part 2. I kept expecting them to pull like a Friday the 13th thing and say, and Jason was my son. But no, but that didn't happen.
They could have. I thought that's where they were kind of going with that, or his sister or something like that, because she mentions her brother goes into the woods. One that made my top, now we're on the subject, Stream was, as far as slasher films, that was like my favorite of the year. I mean, it's about third or fourth in that did everything I wanted out of the movie. Had great cast, so you can't, when you have when you have that cast in there, you can't really go wrong. And it's probably, I don't know if it's going to be Tony Todd's last performance in a movie, but it's probably one of. I don't know if he did any other movies that haven't been released yet.
He did something else. It did come out, but they said that was the last movie he worked on, but not Stream. Stream, it was one of the few last ones, but not the last.
That's too bad. Yeah, I started it. I need to go back to it. I didn't finish it.
I'm surprised it's not on Screenbox yet. That one's usually connected with Bloody Disgusting. So I'm just waiting for it to hit on there because I have a subscription. Aaron, what was your favorite favorite horror movie last year?
Does The Substance count as a horror movie? I'd
count it.
The Substance, I think.
I know the Golden Globes listed it as a comedy, but
weird. But I'm
well, Demi Moore won Best Actress in a Comedy or Musical for The Substance. I'm like, did they even bother watching that?
Do they have a horror?
I mean,
do they have a horror category?
No,
they
should.
Okay,
of course not.
They should. Maybe they will. And you, Alistair, you picked I Saw the TV Glow.
Indeed.
And Josh, you picked The Substance. Is that right?
He picked The Substance as well.
Yeah.
I would go The Substance, Nosferatu, Stream, Late Night with the Devil.
Okay.
That's my top four, and that's pretty solid. After that, it's kind of a mix of everything else, really.
Well, it's hard to go all the way back. Yeah. Megan,
I haven't even seen. I haven't seen Heretic yet or Long Legs. Those are two movies I need to check out.
Long Legs is better. I would try that.
Have you?
Did the Orphan 2 movie, did that come out this year? That was pretty good. I
I
liked it.
think
I thought
that was the
a
year
good surprise.
before.
Was it? Okay.
I could be
don't know.
wrong.
I'm trying to think back to like January, February. Winnie the Pooh 2, I think, came out.
That
this
is
year.
my in the year that
That was
Terrifier
fun.
3 came out. That one was my favorite slasher. Winnie the Pooh 2.
Mm-hmm.
Just because.
Are you going to go see the Peter Pan Neverland on
Yes, I am.
Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday next week?
It's all a glorious setup. Apparently, the third Winnie the Pooh movie, it's got everyone coming in, but it's going to be Peter Pan versus Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, very cool. There's Piglet coming out too. There's a Piglet slasher, part of the Pooniverse, that's coming out. I haven't seen it yet, but I was chatting with the director last week. We're supposed to talk in a couple weeks.
Getting back to Nosferatu, did either of you guys have a problem with his facial hair? Because a lot of people seem to like that. Just
the mustache is powerful.
I didn't, but
oh, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, Vlad Tepes has that big handlebar mustache, so it kind of makes sense you would do that with that character. Some people are like, I didn't like that. I'm like, really? That's what you're going to complain about? All right. If that's all, then I guess it was a good movie then.
It's kind of old school in that the main villain has mustache.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, yeah, they always used to in like those old movies. Yeah, that was good.
Before I forget, speaking of Nosferatu, if you're a fan of Toonie Terrors, I got out this. And they just dropped a black and white one. You can see them next to each other. Isn't that cool?
Excellent.
And it's got the little rat too, of course. But the black and white one, I thought.
Yes, very good.
I just picked it up at Walmart.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, Johnny Depp's star, Lily Depp, if she'll go on to more and more, get probably some bigger roles now, or other, at least a lot more movies after this one, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so too, man.
And Nicholas Hoult, like I said, he just shows up in everything. Mm-hmm. I think so. I think I had heard, and I don't know if this is true, that originally they offered that role to Anya Taylor-Joy, if I'm saying that right.
When they first announced
the one that was
she was
in
her
The
name
Witch.
Was,
Oh, what happened? Why did she back out? Maybe because of The Witch. She didn't.
These people with the three names, I get them all mixed up.
I
probably not. She'd also just done.
It's not like that. She doesn't like the director because she came back for the Northman, but not sure the whole situation on that.
It's probably a scheduling problem.
Probably.
She's busy. She seems to be
something else, or maybe just decided
the director. There wasn't a lot of joy in the script. That was my attempt at a bad joke.
Well, I think
it's a dad joke.
That's the gold.
We can agree. What? I got it. Let's go. One other movie from last year that
Queen's
I'm still
Gambit
like
awesome.
figuring out is, yeah, she did a terrific job. Have you guys seen Immaculate from last year?
No, I did not. Yeah, I heard good things though.
That's good. Fucked up ending. I swore. Crazy ending.
No, but
I'm like still trying to like debating because some.
Oh no, go on.
I thought it was good. It's one of those movies that like I can give it about a 7, but I can't really put my finger on why I don't like it more. I'm just not sure why. If it was maybe not the very ending, but some of the other stuff in the movie is like felt like it was holding back a little bit. I don't know. It
drags a little.
It's one of those movies like what's the movie that starts with an O that everyone loves? The Object or the.
Who's in
one
it?
that I have to rewatch and see if
more.
My opinion changes.
Now you got me thinking. Who's in that movie that starts with the letter O?
Oh, it was about this blind girl or this guy. His wife dies. His sister-in-law who's blind.
Oh, Oddity. Oh yeah, that's
Oddity. I fell asleep halfway through the movie.
Love that one.
I love that. Incredible.
I fell asleep for about 5. when the sister-in-law and his girlfriend is like talking, and they're alone together in that
Yeah,
house, which is a weird looking house, by the way. Very well. We'll make this.
great film. I love the director. Caveat was another one of my
Wish
favorite films
man
by
was
him.
just a man hating.
Scariest little bunny ever.
Did you see in Oddity that scene where she has a wall of forbidden items? The bunny was there.
Yes, yes. Oh my God, yeah. I actually had the
All right,
amazing
here's the
opportunity to
thing.
talk to the director about Caveat,
Uh-huh.
and he told us about Oddity that was coming out, and he said the bunny is going to have a cameo in it.
I love it.
And you know what's really sad about the bunny in Caveat? Like they kind of pieced it together that it fell apart. Because I asked him, I was like, "Do you still have the bunny?" He was like, "No." He's like, "Because it kind of shriveled up, and then all the skin fell off, and it just sort of fell apart in real life." So tragic.
All I know is and maybe I need to. I definitely need to watch again. I must have been too tired to watch it. I fall asleep and I wake back up after 5 minutes, and there's this thing. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's sitting at the end of the table. I'm like, where'd that thing come from? And why are they not? They're acting like it's not even there. And I obviously have to go back and rewatch it.
Got to go back and watch it. It's really good.
I want to buy it and put it in the corner right there.
Right next to the bunny rabbit too.
I'll put some neon lights in the holes in the back or something. I wanted to use the head as a bowling ball. It just looks that inviting.
Oh yeah, the mouth. Yeah, totally. I could see that. And the holes. No, yeah, the holes in the back, right? That's what you mean.
Yeah.
Where the little papers and things are, and she's like, "Put them back," right? She gets really mad. Josh, you got to go back. It's a good one, and you have to pay attention. It's one of those movies.
All right,
that you can't sleep through.
I'll try and get back in there. Well, anyhow, I think I know we all have to try and leave a little early tonight. So thanks everyone for watching. I will have in a couple weeks. I'm gonna have a solo one where I'm having a author by the name of J.R. White, horror author on, or no, I have him on next month. But I have another special YouTuber I'm going to have on in a couple weeks, and then next month we're going to try to have a full-blown discussion on Italian horror and giallo. And since Alistair doesn't know the difference, we're just going to mix them all together and go from there. So
there's a difference. I thought all Italian.
It's all about black gloves. If they wear a black leather glove, it's giallo. If they don't, it's not giallo.
Okay, so if there's a series of bizarre murders in the Italian countryside with a soundtrack from Goblin, are you going to tell me it's not giallo? Because I've been in those arguments before.
No, if Goblin's in the soundtrack, it's not giallo. I don't know, and I don't care. We'll just talk about all of them, enjoy them for what they are. So until then, thanks for joining me, guys, and thanks for everyone in the chat and everyone else. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.